It's the Ross Tucker Football Podcast.
Oh, yeah, it is. But it's not just any Ross Tucker Football Podcast. I would never do that to you guys, ever. I bring it for, 26 minutes or so every single day, not only on the Ross Tucker Football Podcast, but the Fantasy Feast Podcast, which we will record today, talking with Joe Dolan about some of the tight end and day 3 rookie rankings, day 3 wide receivers. Yesterday's Even Money podcast, by the way, which you can still check out, Apple, Spotify. Go ahead and go to youtube.com/Ross Tucker NFL if you missed it. Unbelievable. Steve Fezzik going over all of his week 1 NFL bets already and how he attacks once the schedule comes out. We have not one but 2 interviews for you today, both with the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. Had a chance to catch up with Shane Buechele, who might be their backup quarterback this year. He's competing with Gabbert at the Super Bowl, to talk to him about his really unique career path, as well as Patrick Mahomes, of course, as he battles to be the number 2 guy there in Kansas City. Although even if he's number 3, he'll still be suiting up. More on that in a little bit. And then Andy Heck, he's got a new left tackle. He's got a new right tackle, the offensive line coach for the Chiefs. Always good to catch up with a coach, especially a fellow O-lineman like me. Remember to be spreading the word via social media, at Ross Tucker NFL or at Ross Tucker Pod. I'm looking for a few good spread the word winners. Sponsor confirmation email winner. You hear some sponsors on the show. West Shore Home, Game Time. If you miss them, they're on the sponsor page over at rosstucker.com. Send me an email. I'll send you a signed press pass or card or picture or whatever. And then the YouTube shout out is always fun. youtube.com/Ross Tucker NFL. Just hit the thumbs up, subscribe, make a comment on any video. I am more than fired up for this weekend, Memorial Day weekend. I will be crushing Labatt Blue Lights, and you can and should as well, with friends and family. Live life to the power of we this holiday weekend. Always enjoy responsibly. Beer, Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York. It is Shane Buechele time. It's Big Show time.
The Big Show.
I'm talking with Chiefs quarterback Shane Buechele here. We're actually doing this at opening night at the Super Bowl, but as you guys know, I like to do some of these interviews. Shane, I want to go back. Let's start with high school.
Yeah.
Where in high school? I know Texas, but where?
Yeah, Arlington, Lamar.
Okay, so like right near the Cowboy Stadium.
Yeah, it's 5 minutes away.
Is that a powerhouse school?
You know, I like to think so, yes, but in our district, the powerhouse is definitely Martin High School, but we have some guys in the league right now, so I'd say it's a powerhouse.
Okay, all right. And then you transferred, right?
Not in high school, in college.
No, you went to
I went to Texas.
Okay, and then SMU. Okay, that's what I remember.
Yep.
Talk to me about that. So you get recruited from high school to Texas. You're like a big-time player.
Right.
So you must have been ranked really high. Talk to me about what it was like for you mentally to be at Texas, probably your dream school, right? You had a lot of options.
Right.
Things didn't go as well as you were like. I want to walk me through that.
Yeah, so I kind of did things backwards at Texas. So I played as a freshman, started all 12 games as a freshman.
True freshman?
True freshman, yeah.
What?
Started all 12 games.
They didn't have any upperclassmen?
No, they did. They had a couple, but I ended up starting.
Who was the coach?
Charlie Strong.
Okay.
Charlie Strong. So I was there, and then my sophomore year, I started the season again, but kind of battled some injuries. My junior year, I lost the job.
To who?
I stayed Sam Ellinger.
Okay, yeah.
So I lost the job to him. I graduated in 3 years. Then I went to SMU.
Oh, okay. So that's kind of stuff I like. So did you go into it trying to graduate in 3 years?
I didn't originally.
Okay. I didn't know if you thought maybe like NFL or something.
No, I was thinking, I'd be there for 4 years. That's what I was thinking, obviously. And so, but the time came to where I lost the job, and I knew I still wanted to play, man. I knew this was the dream, so and able to be able to go somewhere, I had to graduate and be able to play right away. The transfer portal was the first year, and transfer rules were still kind of getting up and down. They're still trying to figure it out. So I knew I wanted to transfer, had to graduate in 3 years, and then SMU was the school that I chose. I was super thankful for it, man. It was awesome.
Okay, so you had to graduate to be able to play.
Right.
And then when you went to SMU, who was the coach?
Coach Dykes, Sonny Dykes.
Okay.
He's at TCU now. Had an unbelievable year. I'm happy for him, man. It's awesome.
Okay, and then you tore it up. And did you get drafted?
I did not. I was undrafted.
By who?
Here with the Chiefs.
Okay,
so this is year 2 for me with the Chiefs.
Were you active or practice squad last year?
I was half the year practice squad, and then they elevated me midway through the year last year.
Okay.
And then this whole year I've been on the 53 man.
Where else did you almost go out of high school?
Out of high school, Oklahoma was another school. That was a big school for me. I had a whole.
Dude, you must have been unbelievable. What was it like being a high school star quarterback in Texas?
Man, in Texas, that's all it is. It's ball, man. It's football, high school football. It kind of feeds on top of each other, man. It's a great spot, and I mean, me and Pat talk about it all the time. You're from PA,
Yes.
They say PA football's big, but it's not as big as Texas ball.
Well, I played for the Cowboys.
There we go.
So I know what it was
Right,
like when
right.
I was out there. I played for them in 02 and 03.
Okay.
Did Mahomes not get offered by Texas or Oklahoma?
We actually talked about that a little bit.
How is that possible?
Isn't that crazy? So he went to a little bit of a smaller school out in East Texas, which I don't think he got as much kind of publicity as he needed to. I mean, he put up complete crazy numbers in high school, just like how he does now, but not as much recognition as he deserved. So Texas Tech was the school he chose, but I think it worked out for him pretty good.
Okay, so what's it like being the third team quarterback behind Mahomes and Chad Henne? Like, what do you feel like your role is every week?
Yeah, I think my role, I try to help out as much as possible. Chad, he's a vet in this league, man. He knows so much, and so I'm still learning, man. Pat and Chad are teaching me as much as they can, but during the season, it's as much as me just helping out as much as possible with the little things. If they need a pointer here or there, I'm there. And then scout team. I think scout team's huge. Just trying to give the defense the best look that I can give them for our opponent, and making that room, man, bringing energy and just doing everything that I can do to make us better.
What's the prep like nowadays as the scout quarterback? Do you go over things with the D coordinator? Like, how do you make sure you can give your guys the best look possible?
Yeah, I think we know quarterbacks across the league and what they do. So there's not necessarily a meeting with the defensive coordinator. They'll communicate what they want with us, but we know the systems that are around the league, and so we do as the best we could. But we have great coaches that kind of lead us through that scout team period, and Coach Spags, man, he's a beast. He tells us what to do, and we do it to the best of our ability.
What did you think? Because I was on sideline for the Niners-Eagles NFC Championship game. What did you think about the fact that the first two quarterbacks got hurt and they didn't have a guy to throw the ball? They didn't have a guy that could. You were about to get ready to play, so you didn't even realize until afterwards. But they literally could not throw the ball, have a guy throw a forward pass.
It's crazy, man, and that's the crazy part about this league is whenever you're in that quarterback room, obviously you never want stuff like that to happen, but you just have to stay ready throughout the year. You never know when anything can happen, and that's the crazy part about this league, man, is you never know.
Was there any thought after Patrick had hurt his ankle? Was there any thought in your mind like, hey, man, I might be... Have you been active for any games this year?
No, so I'm on the roster, but I've been inactive.
Yeah. I was inactive all but 4 games my rookie year, so I know how that goes.
Yep.
When I played, I don't know if anybody's told you this, the third quarterback would always suit up.
Yeah.
And they were emergency.
Yeah, I've heard. But
so 45 guys were active.
They went away from that.
And they went away from that. Yeah. But you would always dress every game. And if you went in the game, the first two guys couldn't go back in.
Right. And so, the reason why I would be going in the game is because those two can't be in the game.
Right.
So, like you said, emergency quarterback, I think the rule will come back, honestly. Just seeing how the 49ers, how they couldn't do anything to handle that situation. So I think it could happen again to where that rule comes back. But just like you said, man, Pat went down and he ended up coming back in. He's a tough dude, obviously plays tough, but we didn't know, man. We didn't know what would happen, and so I was ready, whatever we needed.
So twice in the last 3 years, Henne's had to come into a playoff game, and he's done it. He's gotten it done. Have you ever come off a bench like that?
I have, actually, at Texas, just in college, man. My junior year, like I said, I lost the job. And Sam...
How hard was that, by the way? You start every game as a true freshman, you start as sophomore, and then now you're a junior, and now you're a backup.
Right, and that's the tough thing, is doing it kind of backwards, and, you can be salty and kind of getting down in the dumps, but honestly, man, you never know, like we say, man, you got to be prepared at all times, and there was 2 games where I was able to come in and we beat Baylor in a big game, and then Iowa State beat them, so it kind of led us to a Sugar Bowl appearance, and we ended up winning that game, so it was awesome, man, but you always got to be prepared, you never know what will happen, and you got to stay ready.
So I ask this to Chad every year when I talk to him, but I'm going to ask you. Tell me one thing about Mahomes that would surprise people. I mean, everybody knows he's so good and everything like that, but give me one thing about him that would surprise people.
Man. I think a lot of people talk about his physical game and how far he can throw the ball, the arm angles and different things, but I don't think people understand how smart the dude is when it comes to ball. He's unbelievable. He sees things on the field that we don't see, and I think that's just brings him to another level. And man, he's one of the best to ever do it, and that's what is his preparation that gets him to that point. And that's the biggest thing, is his mental makeup, and he gets all the physical attributes, but that mental makeup's different too.
To me, it's like the shovels or the pitches. Like I don't see how he sees some of that stuff.
Exactly. It's just his creative mindset. Obviously, he knows he can do it. Kind of comes from that baseball background of his feet are never really set, but he can make a throw. And man, it's impressive to watch, man. He can do anything.
So you think that's a baseball thing?
I think it comes a little bit from the baseball. Obviously, he works out with a guy named Bobby Stroop, and they do all kinds of stuff. I've worked out with him a little bit, and all the off-platform stuff, they work it a ton.
Interesting.
So, but man,
because isn't it like, aren't you guys, like, as an O-lineman, you're taught to, like, always have your platform.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you
Right,
you don't work on blocking a guy like up on one leg.
Right.
But I guess has quarterback changed a little bit where guys actually work on that as opposed to like making sure their feet are always in the right spot.
I think so, and I think the whole pure pocket passer thing has kind of gone away to where, I mean, people are making unbelievable throws on the run and off platform, and I think it started with Pat, man. It started with him and all the throws that he makes, and that's how people train now, is obviously we want to be able to make throws in the pocket and when we need to, but when it's time, man, defensive ends are so athletic, defensive linemen are so athletic, so when that time comes, when they're free, we have to be able to escape and then make a throw, and that's the biggest part of it.
What does your quarterback coach, Matt Nagy, what does he say to you or Chad about some of the things that Patrick does, and maybe don't try that?
Oh yeah, no, I mean, he doesn't necessarily say that, but it's the looks that we give each other to where we know that we're not going to try it. And so we definitely see the things, and we'll look at each other and we're like, man, that's him, man. That's what he does, and we're just going to take a step back, man. We'll wait for that one.
Shane, thanks so much for the time. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Excellent stuff there with Shane. Honestly, I like interviewing guys like that, to be that highly sought after in high school, and then to, as he said, go the wrong way, the wrong direction in college, and still find a way to have an NFL career is amazing. Almost as amazing as these deals you can get on the Game Time app right now. It's just crazy. I mean, so for me, I love to type in a different city where I might be and see what they've got going, right? So, like, let's go Boston. It's $164 right now for Game 5, Heat Celtics. So if you're a Celtics fan and after last night, you're feeling it, it's $164 on the Game Time app, where they guarantee you'll always get the best price. But it's even cheaper than that, because if you download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code Ross, you get $20 off your first purchase. So terms apply. I don't know why anybody wouldn't create an account, get the app on their phone, and then redeem code Ross for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. I'm a big fan. And I'm also a big fan of Andy Heck. It's kind of Big Show time, part 2.
The Big Show.
All right, it is a football life for my next guest, Andy Heck. 12 years as a player in the NFL, 19 as a coach. I'm jealous, man. Although I'm trying to follow in your footsteps of never actually getting a real job.
That's right. We're lucky to be part of the greatest game on earth, and to be able to be in the NFL. I mean, I tell people all the time, I still get goosebumps on Sunday when they play the national anthem. It's an honor, privilege to be part of it.
Where'd you grow up in?
Northern Virginia, Annandale, Virginia.
Okay, I know where that's at. And then you went to Notre Dame.
That's right.
Obviously had an awesome career there. Were you on the 88 team?
Yes, I was a senior tri-captain on the 88 team.
Oh, that is amazing. So I don't know if I ever told you this, but I grew up Catholic, and 88, I went to, now I had Penn State season tickets, but I went to the Penn State at Notre Dame game in 88, and my dad, my uncles went to Notre Dame, so Penn State was kind of our number 1 team, but Notre Dame was our number 2 team, and I met Tony Rice and Dean Brown at the Morris Inn after the game, so I cheered for you guys as you went all the way. I mean, that's unbelievable to win the national championship your senior year.
That is, you just mentioned 2 of my favorite Domers. I mean, Tony Rice, unbelievable, did an amazing job running that option offense we had. Dean Brown, man, they don't get any better than that. God rest his soul. And for me, it was a lot of fun to be. I think that day we ran for 590
against Penn State.
Against Penn State. Yeah. I could be wrong. No, we ran for 590.
All right, so you played 12 years. So what was your last year?
2000.
So did you notice a difference between the NFL in 88 and the NFL in 2000? Because like in my head, you would think, wow, 88 to 2000, like 3 different decades, you know?
No, I really didn't, and then you go back.
Were you with Washington in 2000?
In 2000, I was in Washington, yeah.
My rookie year was Washington in 2001.
Okay.
With Schottenheimer.
Okay, yeah. I said, Coach Schottenheimer, he came in, he said, he cut me, and that was my last stop. And I said, well, I'd love to get into coaching. And he goes, yeah, go coach somewhere else, and then you can come back. So I did that. I went to be a GA at the University of Virginia, and then I was fortunate enough to get on at Jacksonville as an assistant line coach. But, back to your question about the difference, man, it always seems like there's great pass rushers in this league. I came into the league in Seattle out there. We were in the AFC West, and Kansas City, with Derek Thomas, and then Mecklenburg and Denver, and the Raiders had great pass rushers, and Townsend and Howie Long. I mean, I put these guys up against any of the guys you see in 2000 and even today.
Yeah.
And it never changed. I think to myself, how many Pro Bowl pass rushers can there be? Because every single team seems to have 1 or 2.
What's it like for your son to be in the NFL now?
Yeah, Charlie is with Houston, and it's awesome. I'm so proud of him. He loves it. He's going to be a good tackle. He's a good young tackle. He's got a chance to play a little bit. I think he's just about to hit his stride here, and he's going to have a good long career. But for me as a dad, to watch him go out there and do this and do it so professionally. And the thing about Charlie, too, he gets along with everybody. He's a great teammate, and so he's always got positive things to say. And I know there hasn't been a lot of positive things going on in Houston lately, although I'm super fired up with Coach D'Amico to get there and where they're going to be heading with that. But Charlie's always kept it positive there, and I'm proud of him for that.
Do you watch his tape?
I do, yeah.
And do you give him feedback?
Every once in a while. We text once or twice a week, and I might throw him a nugget here and there.
You have to, right? That's part of it?
Yeah, but mostly I'm dad, and I just encourage him. Man, I'm so proud of you. That was awesome. I saw that goal. I'm like, that was great.
Oh, that's so cool, man.
Yeah.
Awesome. Andy, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet.
Awesome job. Obviously, Andy and I got cut short a little bit, but I still wanted you guys to hear about that. Just like I wanted you to hear that there's a new streaming service called Max. It's a sure bet. It has everything on HBO Max, including HBO, the DC Universe, Adult Swim, which is hilarious, together with TLC, Discovery, Food Network, and more. Max has some of the best content out there. I mean, think about it. You know my family. There's literally something for everyone in my household. Max is where we all win. Max, the one to watch. Subscription required. Visit max.com.
Tux Takes.
All right, Ross, we'll start with Seahawks Pro Bowl cornerback Tariq Woolen had knee surgery after he injured his knee walking on the field at OTAs, but luckily he's expected to be ready for training camp.
Well, like not good, obviously. I think 28 of the 32 NFL teams started OTAs yesterday. 2 more start today. So pretty much every team, including yours, is out there for OTAs. We got Aaron Rodgers tweaking a calf, which doesn't sound real good, but I mean, it's just not good because he's going to miss a lot of time getting together with his receivers, just like Woolen. Now, they say he's expected to be ready for training camp. We'll see. I mean, I think they will ease him back in training camp, make sure that young man's ready for week 1.
Some pretty significant roster moves over the last few days. Josh Johnson signs with the Ravens for the 3rd time. Austin Eckler gets an adjusted contract that's got $2 million in incentives. Broncos cut kicker Brandon McManus while signing back offensive tackle Cam Fleming.
Right. So OTAs in the NFL are like spring football, and coaches want to have their team, right? They want to feel like they're building for the season now. So the Ravens with Lamar Jackson and Tyler Huntley, they want to make sure that they've got a veteran number 3, especially since, as we'll get to it, there's a new rule where that guy can suit up. You know, it's tough being a running back. Eckler's been so productive. All he can get is $2 million in incentives. I'm not exactly sure why the Broncos cut McManus. Sounds like just a money-saving thing. Wouldn't be surprised if he ends up in Dallas. And then Cam Fleming. A lot of value in reliable offensive linemen that can play multiple spots.
The NFL passed a rule allowing a 3rd quarterback to be active on game day, but doesn't count as a roster spot. And then the other one is fair catches inside the 25 will automatically come out to the 25, pretty much like in college.
So these are both important, right? So 3rd quarterback, this is because of what happened with the Niners, although the Niners didn't even have a 3rd quarterback on the roster or didn't even have a 3rd quarterback on practice squad. But they should have a 3rd quarterback active on game day. So basically, it doesn't count as one of your 47 active players. So there'll be a 3rd quarterback. He'll be number 48. But he can only go in the game if the first 2 are hurt and out. And once he goes in the game, the first 2 cannot go back in the game. This is the way it was when I was a player. So they're just kind of going back to the way it was. Must be on the active roster, though. Can't be a practice squad call-up. And a lot of special teams coaches, I see other people fired up about this rule. I don't know. I mean, there's going to be more fair catches. It's something that they do in college the last couple of years, so I guess I'm just used to it. I don't see what the big deal is.
Another big rule change is the Thursday Night Football flex. Only 2 per season max. That is most they can have 2 per season, and it has to be between weeks 13 to 17 and 20 days advance notice.
Okay, so let's start with this, right? If you have tickets to a Sunday game and they switch it to Thursday, that sucks. Like that's brutal. However, number 1, you now know it's a possibility. So if you're going to buy tickets for a game this year, maybe you don't buy weeks 13 through 17 because this could happen. Secondly, it's unlikely to happen very often. They're only going to do it if it's a disaster of a game. Third, 28 days notice. So you have a month to change your plans then. And let's be honest, the big money comes in from the TV networks. So the NFL is going to do what it takes to get the ratings that the big TV networks, or in this case, Amazon, need, so that they spend even more money the next time. A lot more money coming in that way than by however many people are affected by the move from Sunday to Thursday, if it even happens. That's about all we got here for a Wednesday edition. We'll have Greg Cosell tomorrow. Very fired up for Greg Cosell, breaking down the AFC South as our series continues. I think we're done here.
Thanks for listening to the Ross Tucker Football Podcast. Make sure to also subscribe to the Fantasy Feast, Even Money, Business of Sports, and College Draft. All available at Apple Podcasts, rosstucker.com, or wherever podcasts can be found.
You know what, though? We're not totally done because I like to shout out some of our listener-owned businesses like myfrontpagestory.com. Best anniversary gift ever. Best Father's Day gift ever. How about backofficescheduler.com, Evergreen Economics, go-bengals.com, steakhousesports.com, humanheadnyc.com, Sporticulture, and of course, the delicious Pizza Boy Brewing. Now we're officially done.